Hey guys, just a quick infomercial about who I am and kind of my capabilities. I do a lot of social media posts on bikes I'm building, maybe some tips and tricks on stuff. But just so everyone knows, I'm other than service work and building bikes and repairs and engine building, I stock tons of parts. We'll take a look at kind of what I have and just kind of how I can help you gather up things that are hard to find versus, a lot of places don't stock, I would say don't stock engine category like I do. But let's run through some of these examples here. Just real quick, I'm set up to deal with Honda parts, whether it's Honda USA or Honda Japan, straight from Japan, or some stuff that gets sourced through Europe. I'm set up with CHP in Texas, which is classic Honda parts. I do some work with Northeast Vintage Cycle, good guys in New York. I do TBparts. I'm a wholesaler with them. They're out on the East Coast for the performance engine parts, and they have some frame and electrical parts for these vintage bikes. I'm set up with Motorkit in Europe. I'm set up with CMSNL out of Europe. I'm set up with WeBike in Japan. I do four-stroke in Europe, amongst a ton of other areas that I pull parts and pieces and unique stuff. So let's go through this real quick. Hardware. So the hardware category, we got tons of hardware in the bin. These are for building the chassis of the bikes, assembly hardware, specialty things. A lot of it is all Honda when it's available. That's what you'll get is Honda. If not, I've got alternate sources that I pull stuff that is, reproduction or, the higher quality parts that you can get today's. I mean, I've gone through tons of stuff that I would never sell you. I mean, that's not my gig. My gig is to use the best when I build and also only sell the best to you when you want to get a part. So a lot of I'm a resource for good parts is what I'm getting at. So tons of hardware. All this stuff is all figured out, like what works best on the bike, and if it's not available, I got a good source to grab it from. So more chassis parts, again Honda if I can get it, and alternate options that have been used over and over by me that have proven to be a good aesthetic fit for the OEM look and quality that hasn't, if it's crap, I don't sell it. So we got tons of bins of parts. Tons of bins of parts. This would be a good example. Some parts. This is for a 1978 Z50. Customer has his chassis. I'm gonna do the engine, but I could supply any engine parts he needs. We'll talk about engine parts in a minute. But this is a good example. He wants everything to put his bike back together that isn't refurbable. Like if you can send it off to chrome and zinc it, prefer to do that. But if you have to get stuff, I'll hook you up. I got everything. This is actually all in stock. I built a whole bike for him. So from the decals all the way to the hard items here you see. So I'm pulling, this is from CMS, some fork legs. You got all these tail lights, Stanley from Europe. You're not going to get this in the United States unless the dealer's grabbing them. I label all his stuff for him. If you want that, I can do that for you. Put everything organized based on where it's going on the bike. Rear wheel kit, so this is all your hardware, all your parts and stuff needed, bearings to rebuild all your hubs and assemble all the rear section of the bike. So again, everything is getting labeled across the board. Front wheel, dust shield for he's doing the taper bearing kit he wants. And talking to me too, you'll get tons of advice. I've gone through a lot of issues with building bikes. I know what works and what doesn't. So I'll give you feedback on stuff. If you want to do a certain style of a bike, I can give you, actual working experience of what you'll run into, the complications, or if it's a seamless install. Let's look at some engine stuff. Oh yeah, before the engine, so I just wanted to say, I can give you this info too. Like if you want that, it's very simple. Basically just print you out a sheet that shows you where all these hardware parts are going to go. It makes it pretty simple to assemble a bike from a chassis standpoint. And I'll put some of my stuff has notes of any kind of specialty info that you might need if it's pertinent to the bike build. I might put some notes other than bolt sizes, but yep, there you go. All right, let's look at engine stuff. So I'll start with the carburetors: Z50, hardtail, softtail, CT70. I'm a dealer for Sudco, so I get any of the performance parts like a McCuney carbs, authentic stuff. So stock a lot of McCuney VM20 through VM24 stuff, CT70 stuff, a lot of used parts for Z50s and CT70s, along with the refurbing parts all in these bins. Plus some carbs. I have ATC 70 carbs right now. I usually get a Z50 softtail style carb from Japan, Kian. I need to order some more of those, but then some performance parts. These would be the small bins for all the small items for the engine builds. Example of kind of the hard parts that I have that most people won't even sell. Exhaust guides for the valves. I've got Honda guides that are hard to get. Found a replacement that works, and I stock that stuff. So if the guide's shot, I got the part. Just all sorts of intricate little pieces, along with Honda and performance parts. So those bins are pretty much filled to the gill with everything that needs to go inside an engine. Alright, so we got some upbore kits, TBparts 88cc kits for stock head builds, cylinders if you need cylinders. I carry Honda OEM, connecting rods, tons of Kataco performance parts for stock heads, OEM heads, valves, spark plugs, NGK, made in Japan, pistons, kits. That's some sprockets. These are a bunch of new tappet covers, cam covers, OEM covers if you need them. Those are used ones. I can vapor hone for you if you want some used stuff. Alright, so that's a wrap. Just wanted to kind of let you all know that I have tons of parts, so good resource for quality parts, good advice. Not only am I building everything and using what I sell, you have access to it too if you'd like. Alright, thanks for watching. Email or phone call is a good way to get a hold of me, and then you just pay through, typically it will be just a PayPal invoice that gets emailed, and you open that up and you just pay with your credit card. No PayPal login on your end. Alright, thanks for watching, guys.